Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a review of The Children of the Shiunji Family, Episode 3 review. Now, I want to take a moment once again to say it with passion one more time. The creator of Rent a Girlfriend is arguably, and I will debate this, he is a top 10 greatest manga creator of all time. He's in the top 10. Top 10. I got him at number 9. Now, I'm not going to put him above the high class. But if we're talking about manga creators, overall, this guy's in the top 10. Now, I want to bring that out there. Now, let's count the ways here. First of all, the trilogy of the Shiunji family. First, can I say this? Again, what can I say about this show? This show is effing great. This show is effing great. Because it's one of those worst case scenario animes that you have that I like. Like, think about it, guys. How many anime shows you watch that got that kind of like a worst case scenario vibe? And you're thinking, you're like, oh my God, I come this far. I gotta see it. And even if it's the beginning of it, it has that twist that you didn't think was coming. Now we got the twist here. Also, I'm wearing my Rent a Girlfriend because Rent a Girlfriend, creator-wise. I need a shirt of the Shiunji family. I really fucking need it. Anyway, episode 2 did show us a lot with Shihai and Minami, especially Kotono. Kotono had done a lot in the beginning. Like, the beginning was the impact, the start of the rivalry. Props for her, by the way. And it started building up the relationship of the family, And I get it. Everybody's thinking about this. See, this is why, people don't like this show because of what it has. And it's like, so? It's not like, okay. This show has like a twist and turn vibe. Like, on the one hand, I get it. But on the other side, they're orphans. I get it. There's this route and then there's this route. People prefer this route or this route. People like this route. But still, this is one of those things where you, like, can you imagine if this was in real life? Can you imagine in the eyes of the MC, Arata himself, you realize, I don't know, but you don't know. And it's like your brain tells you this, your brain tells you that. Obviously, you don't know what the future holds. And that's what this is. So now we get into episode 3. And episode 3 is dedicated to one character who stood out the most and a cliffhanger you didn't expect. Which is different from the manga because I read the manga. It's a little different from that. But anyway, let's get right through with the review of the Children of the Shiunji family. Okay. Now, there are hints and signs to when confession is about to happen. When a character blush, that because when a character blushes, that means it's already confirmed a shipping is happening, and you already confirmed that this might hit it off. So, Kotono, again, being the Sumi vibe of this series, being all shy and everything, pretend like nothing ever happened. Shihai wanted to say Shihai-chan, he's saying like that. And then you got Minami, then you have Minami coming out of the blue saying, sure you can. She loves fighting games. I can imagine if she was to play Tekken, Street Fighter, Soul Calibur, and then she'd probably beat us. She'd probably beat us because she loved fighting games. Like, again, if you see that show Yukin thing, I'm like, yep, she's going to win. Now, on to the topic here. We're now entering this arc, Disneyland. Yes, this episode 3 is an arc called Disneyland. Yes, we in a Disneyland vibe where you can see like a uncanny Mickey Mouse, an uncanny Donald Duck, uncanny Goofy, And you can tell this, they didn't want to get copyright sued, so they tried to make it another land. But you can tell that this theme was Disneyland vibe because you have Spaceland, you have Westernland, you have Ghostland, and all that. You can tell it was Disneyland vibe, so I'm not surprised. Now, most of this episode was dedicated to the big sister of the Shiunji family, Banri. Now, Banri is 18 years old. Arata is 16. Let's be honest, guys. Would you go out with Banri? That's the biggest question right there. Yes. I'm pretty sure everybody has put as best girl. I got her at number 2, even though I got Kotono at 1 and Banri at 2. And Banri is the oldest of the family. I get that. You're not wrong. I'm not denying that. She is the oldest. Now, we all know Banri is the hottest out of everybody in the family. Like, you gotta understand, she has the body, she has the figure as to why she is everyone's best girl. Not gonna lie. Now, aside from that, you gotta give her props. I do like Banri, not because of her body, but she has that big sister vibe. She looks out for the family. She's caring, nice. She'll stood up to Arata when he's down. Like, I'm still like, there was a flashback in the episode where when they were kids and Banri had that bob cut hair, and she started targeting the three sisters like, yo, bullying Arata, and she started chasing them. They were kids, and that kind of thing. And I like that. I really do. It's brought out a lot of love, showing how Banri is the oldest sister, how she look out for the family. That's great. That's great. Now, we all know Banri liked to tease Arata. Like, when she clenched on Arata's arm, making it like it was a date, and nobody don't see that's a date. Like, if you guys go to Disneyland and y'all see Banri and Arata together, you know what I think? Like, first thing y'all think of, like, they're dating. Yeah, you'll be jealous. Kind of like when Kazuya go on a date with Chizuru, and then you're like, what the heck? How did a guy get a girl like that? And they're like, oh my god, you see what I'm saying? And there were some fan service shots, and I'm not surprised. We're not surprised that this entire of the children of the Shiunji family is going to have a little bit of shots of fan service. I mean, have you seen Rent the Girlfriend? Rent the Girlfriend got many shots, a little bit of fan service. Like, we're not even surprised by that. So when Banri got clenched on Arata's arm, Arata you can't resist a guy looking at her boobs. Like, you really can't look at her boobs. You can't resist it. You can see like the. It's like you can't deny that. Even when she go up the stairs, you can see the little skirt she had. Like, come on. And yeah, she liked to tease him. Going back to what I said, like to tease Arata to a point where she's like, the virgin quote. You could touch him if you want. Just trolling with him. But that's it. And you can see they're having a great time, going on a roller coaster and that stuff, while the other families is out having fun and all that stuff because it's Kotono's birthday. By the way, it's Kotono's birthday, so they did it to celebrate it, And it was her birthday. She could do whatever she wants. I mean, like, if it's someone's birthday, you can do whatever you want. So Kotono's like, let's go to Spaceland, and they all have a great time. Then at that moment, and you could tell this just shot another fire into Banri's heart. That she herself don't want to admit it, but she has a crush on Arata. Because in that moment when they were sitting down, this kid had like a couple of juices. It spilled, and the MC Arata jumps in to protect Banri, And in that moment, you could see the determination in his eyes, where Arata looked at Banri and said, "I will protect you just like you always protect me. We're siblings, We're as a big brother. Remember, Arata and Shion are the only two brothers, but Arata is the big brother. So Arata looking at Banri in a way like, I protect you as a big brother and that stuff. You could tell Banri's all blushing because that's sweet. That is so sweet for her because Banri always had Arata's back. Now Arata is protecting Banri like he always protect the family. And you can see the blushiness that's happening. You can see that. So that's already a love confession right there. Now, I'm going to go back to, I've left out something, but I'm going to save that towards the beginning because that happened in the beginning of the episode. I'm going to save that part for this part. So, Shiai explained to Ouka, Minami, and Banri about what happened last night. About Kotono clinging on Arata's back in the shower scene, and how she got on top of Arata, explaining all this just to see where his heart races, all that stuff. And she ain't pulling punches. I just immediately confessed to Katana's situation and what she did to him in the bed. So like, okay. Already, see, they're not pulling any punches. They're really gonna confess. Now, Banri spoke to her father in the beginning of the episode, trying to figure out what's really going on. What's her life? They found out, well, they're all orphans. We need to find out about their parents. And I think with this series move forward with this kind of a route thing going on, the whole thing is about the whole family. Like, I really am curious about why they were orphans, like who their parents were, why they were sent to the orphanage, what their parents were like. Were they good parents? Were they bad parents? Were they this and that? We need to know each of them. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. The route is getting good. This whole worst case scenario vibe where they realize, oh, you guys not siblings. Y'all just 7 orphans. You're just 7 orphans. Okay, but you're just 7 orphans. But what they were like who, like what parents what parents were they had? Like, what kind of parents did Ouka had? What kind of parents did Shiha had? What kind of parents did Banri, Minami, Kotono, Arata, Shion? Like, what kind of parents did he had? Oh, that's also a big thing. And I hope later on in the manga chapters we're gonna find out more if they go on with this. Now, that's that. Now I want to talk about Ouka for a bit. And this is where the ending credits comes in play. After the credits. I'm going to go back to the beginning because I left it off. But I'm going to use that to bring it to this. So, in the beginning of the show, Ouka was defending Arata. How the girls like Arata, and she is literally blushing. You could tell by the red ears she was blushing, talking about Arata this, Arata that, how Arata is always this and that. And you could tell from that tsundere look-alike vibe, like a Chizuba vibe, you could tell that she has feelings for Arata in the beginning of the show. Okay. And you could tell that she's defending Arata because, you know, all the girls like him and all that stuff, and she has reasons why the girls should not even come close to Arata. You can tell. Now, as we get to the end, there at the end of the episode, you could tell that Arata like Ouka as twins. He sees her as a twin. Now, we already know they're not twins. We already know that they're not twins already. But since they know each other for years, they're not related, but they all know for years that they're twins. Hard to see each other too because they know each other for years, so I get that. But in that moment at the end where Ouka confessed cliffhanger with a word like. And we all know in the manga, she literally confessed saying, I like you. You know what that means? It's time. It's happening. The confession clicks in debate. We have reached our moment, guys. We have reached our moment. A confession has skyrocketed now. It's about to go on. Real on. And I really hope we see more of this as it goes along. But overall, this was a great episode. I mean, every character had their moment right now. Banri had a moment, and now Ouka had a moment. And with a cliffhanger like that, that's also that Ouka delivered. This tells you that the gloves comes off. We're just orphans now. We're just gonna be like this and that, regardless of how our heart says. We're gonna see where this goes. So let's see where the conclusion comes in after this cliffhanger, and more to come. A declaration of war between the 5 sisters has now skyrocketed. to the point. We'll see more about it later on. So thank you for watching my review of the show, and I can't wait to see next week's episode of it, and I'll see you soon.